Hello everyone and welcome to Harv's World for part 3 of the Ravenport walkthrough. Welcome back. Today we are going to finish getting our fields ready, planting, fertilizing, so let's get started. I want my fertilizer spreader, but I made not a mistake. But buying fertilizer was not the first thing I should have done. We will use the fertilizer, but if I go to my map menu now, and if I look at my field, and you can see it shows exactly where we plowed, but the reason it shows that is because it's telling me this part of the field needs lime. Well, I'm going to do all of it. I'm going to put lime on everything, and the reason I'm going to do that is so that when it needs lime again, all of it will need lime at the same time. If I don't cover it all now, then at some point these three squares are going to need lime separately from this, and I just want to get it all on the same schedule, so I'm going to lime the whole thing. How do I do that? Well, now that I've got my fertilizer and lime spreader hooked up, I can hit I to unload it, and it's going to unload eight pallets of fertilizer, which is fine, because we will use all that up and much, much more. Now I can come back over here to my fill point and ask it to fill me up with lime, which it will do in very short order. And as I pull into my field, like so, I'm going to hit V, and that's going to, there's a little lever wheel right there that needs to be put into place. And then if I hit B, it's going to start spewing lime the minute I start driving up the field, and you can tell that's taken place because, well, the field turns white. Very white. Not to be mistaken with berry white. Who was an old school hip-hop singer. Actually, he was kind of more of a, what was it, soul? Probably soul would be a better description for what Barry White sang. Anyway, he was very, very good. Back in the day, I'm dating myself now. Now again, this doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. So we'll start in right here again. And we're just going to go around the edge of the field. In fact, I'm not going to get fancy and do a bunch of turning or a bunch of stop. And like I just did there, I'm just going to work my way around. Now, one thing about lime, you use a lot more of it than fertilizer, but it's also a lot cheaper than fertilizer. Thank goodness. Let's see, now I can just swing right around here, pull back into my field. Like so. Oh, I got off the beaten path a little bit more than I planned to, but life goes on. You can always go back and touch it up. In fact, I'll need to, especially along this edge, because I'm doing a horrible job. See, even guys who've played for a while, we still screw it up. We just know how to fix it a little bit faster. I think that's the only trick. Like now, man, I'm okay, don't watch this. Fast forward. Anyway, what you want to do is just keep going around your field like so. You can go up and down, back and forth, sideways, whatever. You just want to make sure that it's got lime on all of it. So I'll see you when this is done. So I am now out of lime. I'm just driving around the field a little bit just to see I missed one little dinky spot right there. See how it kind of sparkles? And we can go back to our map now and see that nowhere on here does this say we need lime. In fact, I want to move this tractor out of the way just to see if that spot is showing up on the map. Actually, it's not, so I think I'm okay. So yeah, at this point, our lime is taken care of, as it should be. And I ran myself completely out. Now, I did have to buy just a little bit more, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so now that we've got lime on our field, what do? Well, we get to plant our first crop. Now I'm going to grab up all this fertilizer again, and all you have to do is pull next to a pallet like this, and it will give you the option to refill. So you just hit R, and it will start loading all of these pallets into your fertilizer spreader. However, if you're looking for a little more realism in your gameplay, I'll just show you this right quick also. You can pick up a pallet like so. If we take this, now it has to be these bag pallets like I'm using right now, but if we take this and we pull it right over our fertilizer spreader, like this, it will unload like so. And you can watch it pour right out of the bag into your fertilizer spreader. Not something that I regularly do, but the option's there. If you like that a little bit better, if it feels more realistic to you, be my guest. As I always tell everybody whenever I do a tutorial, it's your game. Play it your way. There's no right way to play this game. It's whatever you enjoy. Go have fun with it. I'm just showing you the methods that I would use to get started. At some point you'll go out on your own and you'll say, ah, that Harv, he was full of it. If I was doing it, this is what I would do. And that's okay, because that's really the ultimate goal, is to get you to play the game your way. Go have fun. Whatever makes the game fun for you makes me happy. I'm just trying to give you the basics so that you can start sorting this stuff out for yourself, figuring out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. I have not played on the Ravenport map since I was just first started. So, I mean, that'll tell you exactly where I stand with Ravenport. It's a good map, don't get me wrong, but there are many, many more out there. You're going to find dozens of maps that pique your interest, that look interesting. This is just a good place to get started because, frankly, it's pretty basic. Alright, so I'm going to drop off our plow, subsoiler technically, although it acts more like a plow than a subsoiler, because subsoilers don't generally create fields, only plows do that. Subsoilers do everything a plow does except for create fields. Okay, so you can see I've got my planter, my seeder. There's a difference between a seeder and a planter, so don't let me confuse this. This is a seeder. And if I hit the letter N, I can open the cover on my seeder. And I'm going to pull up to our filling station, and I'm going to load this with both seed and fertilizer. So I can start filling right here. And seeds. So it will take 830 liters of seeds. If I hit N again, it will open the fertilizer cover. And I don't know why. There we go. Oops, start filling, and now it wants to fill with fertilizer, and it's going to top me off 830 liters of fertilizer. So 50-50. Now, when it comes to seeders and planters, planters do something a little bit different. They do different types of crops. You're going to line up on the edge of your field. You can be overhanging just a little bit, doesn't matter. Now, this particular seeder is also a fertilizer spreader, and it's also a cultivator. Now, a cultivator is used to prepare a field before you can put crops in the ground, but on a seeder like this, it does that for you. It's called a direct drill, which we mentioned before. Now, it's going to be hard to see, but in the lower right-hand corner, you're going to see that we have wheat. Now, you are not restricted to wheat. There are no special seeds. The seeds in Farming Simulator are kind of magic seeds, and they will plant whatever crop you want. So I can select seed by hitting Y, and it will take me through everything I can plant if I just keep pressing it. So wheat, barley, oats, canola, soybeans, oilseed radish, and I can even plant grass. So we are going to start with soybeans. On our brand new great big field, we are going to plant soybeans first, and the reason why is because soybeans are a high value crop, and we want to make as much money as we can as soon as we can. So with that said, we're lined up, we've got our soybeans selected, we're completely full. Now I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to unfold this. I don't know what needs to unfold because it doesn't really show anything, but I hit unfold. Okay, there we go. I guess I had to lower it first. That's weird. I've never had that happen before. Okay, so it's now turned on. You can see the icon on the controls menu. It's turned orange, and you can see that it's dropped down. Now all we have to do is start going down our field, and you can see we are planting soybeans. See the rows in the ground now, and it's taking the lime and mixing it right in. And again, this is another situation where you don't have to be perfect. Perfection is not a necessity. I will say, make sure you cover all of your field. I'll get right out to the edges, but other than that, we just want to get this whole field planted with soybeans. It's our only goal. And in fact, I think when I get around, when I'm all the way around, now we're doing what's known as a headland pass. I just happen to be going in counterclockwise direction this time, but again, this is our headland. And I'm going to get sloppy here. I'll square it up just a little bit so it doesn't look as bad. And it will take you some practice to figure out how to back up tools like that. In game, it's quite a bit different than real life. I used to be a truck driver. Or for those folks in Europe, a lorry driver. And I still don't get it right all the time. Now, one problem with creating fields sometimes is that you will hit spots like this where we just skipped over, and it doesn't like trying to seed that spot. We can sometimes fix that by coming at it from another direction, but the ground is rough, and there are other things we can do to fix that as well. But we are not going to concern ourselves with that right now. Right now, we just want to get our field planted. There's going to be a few other rough patches through this field that aren't going to be quite nice. At some point we probably will want to repair those, but that'll be a good opportunity for another small lesson. So now we didn't even touch this part, and it's being weird. This was part of the original field. Yep, so farming challenges right out of the gate. It probably expects us to go up the field, that's why. Anyway, that's our first pass with our soybeans. We're going to look at our map again, and now you can see there's a blue line. That means we've done fertilizer, so we know we've put fertilizer on there. And if we go and look at soybeans on the map, we can see that we have got soybeans planted all around the outer edges of the field. So at this point, it's time to just get soybeans in the rest of this field. So I am going to do just that, and I will talk to you in a little bit. Well, if you're anything like me, you ended up having to refill with seed and fertilizer, and you had some trouble on some spots, and I'm going to show you. I left a few of them. This is one problem with laying in a field on uneven ground, and you know, farmers have to deal with this all the time. Now, there are ways for us to fix this, but for now, all we care about is trying to get seed on these little spots. Some of the little tricks that we could use is hitting it from a different direction, going very slow, because sometimes it's just an issue of your seeder is bouncing on the across the ground, and when it bounces, it prevents it from seeding. Now that's obviously not happening right here. This is a very uneven piece of ground. We're just going to try from a different angle is all. Got some of it. Got some of that one. Now when we harvest this crop, we'll come back in and we'll fix this field so that we don't have these problems anymore. Now that we know what to look for, where they're at, let's try from this angle. This might help us out a little bit. Nope. And it might just be that we're out of luck here. But not before we try. Everything in our arsenal. Now, one thing that I would point out to you is right now, I'm not lifting my seeder off the ground as I go around. But I'm also not using any seed as I go around. So your seeders are smart. They know where you've planted seed, and they won't use seed if there's already seed in there. But the drawback to that is that the fertilizer part of the seeder is not smart, and it will continue to put fertilizer down even if you've already put it on that spot. So you're still using up fertilizer. Well, we got all that so far so good. Now, again, it's not going to hurt your crop, not at all. It's not like you can over fertilize or anything. That's a non-issue in the game, but it does cost you money in fertilizer. So you generally want to try to avoid that. And man, these two spots just aren't going to work with us at all. So we're going to definitely want to fix those. We can't do it now that we've planted around them. But they are fixable. And again, it'll give me an opportunity to teach you another skill. Okay. Just one more quick little brush here just to see. Nope, we're just going to have to leave those two. That's fine. We got 99.9%. Okay, so homework assignment. That's pretty much going to do it for this episode, but I am going to leave you with a homework assignment. We have one more field. It's a pretty respectable size field. And you should know pretty well how to operate your seeder by now. You know how to fill it up, you know how to turn it on, and you know how to change the crops. I would like you to plant this field with canola. Another high value crop, and frankly it's my favorite crop in the game, just because I think it's pretty. Honestly, that's why it's my favorite. Just before harvest, it blooms and turns yellow. It's absolutely gorgeous. So plant this field with canola. That's going to do it for this part of the Ravenport walkthrough. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button down below. And until next time, take care.